Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You're amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. You're looking amazing. You must have had a good weekend. You've got some of it left. We're sort of rocking on to what is it? It's like nearly 7 o'clock. Yeah, time's flying, mate. Time's flying. I reckon it's an age thing. You get to a certain age, and days are just like that. And then children. And anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. We're going to Moscow, Idaho. Well, we're not going there. We're going to talk about it. Because the Goncalves family and their army of hatred, that's what I'm going to call them, the Goncalves family army of hatred. Let's have a look at the article first, because this is just talking about the 300 plus page change of venue. We've got the hearing coming up on the 28th of August. I am going to stream it. What am I doing? Let's go on here. Look. Right, so Idaho quadruple murder suspect, and this is the key word here, suspect. He's not been proven to be guilty yet. And he may not be proven to be guilty. There's so much around this case, so many questions, but for some people, they just don't seem to be able to fucking grasp it. So, Idaho quadruple murder suspect Brian Cobber demands huge change as lawyers say his chances of a fair trial are utterly corrupted. And stick a pin in that. Quadruple homicide suspect, underlined, italic, bold. Brian Coburg's attorneys have demanded a huge change before the trial starts next year. In a court filing made public Tuesday afternoon, attorneys for the 29-year-old criminology student argue that the 3-month-long trial should be moved out of Moscow, Idaho, and into the capital city of Boise. They claim that their client's constitutional right to a fair trial would be utterly corrupted if it were to take place in Latah County, where he allegedly murdered, and again, underlined, italic, bold, allegedly, murdered University of Idaho students Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogans, Anna Knodel, and Ethan Chapin in their off-campus home. And yes, it is the Idaho 4 as well. There was 4 victims who lost their lives that night. You wouldn't fucking think it, would you? The lawyers cited extensive publicity that is ongoing and inflammatory, which it is. And some of that is even being perpetuated by the Goncalves Army of Hatred, including the decimation of inaccurate information in the news and on social media that would be inadmissible at trial. Like, let's just get straight. Whoa, what's going on with that? Wowzer, that was mental. Like, for instance, the stalking situation. There's still stupid, dumb motherfuckers around this case that believe Brian Koberger was stalking one of the victims. I've still got people in the comments to this very day who are saying that Brian Koberger had gone over to this house and he was stalking on social media, had inboxed him and they'd ignored him and this, that and the other, right? And a lot of this, the stalking situation, and Brian Koberger being so close to the house that he touched their Wi-Fi, What does that even mean? But you've got the Goncalves family who have come forward now and said, look, this is going to be a fight of their lives. And it's right, it is. Not just yours, the others as well. And you've got kind of a situation where they're saying, we're not happy about this being moved. We know they're not happy about it, and they feel that they should be compensated in some way if it gets moved. And then you've got them hearting comments where you've got morons saying that it's basically disgusting that Brian Koberger has to have a fair trial. And I can't quite grasp that, because surely whatever side of the fence you're on, whatever you believe happened, whatever your thought process is, you still want your constitutional rights to be protected. You'd want to think that the constitutional rights of your family, your friends would be protected, your children, should they find themselves in a situation where they are accused of doing something. Because at this moment in time, Brian Koberger has been accused and it hasn't been proven. And in fact, even the PCA has been proven now to contain information within that is incomplete and could indeed have been how can I say, just for want of a better word, fabricated. They needed Brian Koberger to go from point A to point B, so they draw in, like, this is the specific route that he drove. Well, can you show us where that happened then? No, we can't. And on these sort of things, and do you know what I mean? I've done it to death, so we're not going in depth with it, but that's the general gist of it. Do you know what I mean? They obviously, the prosecution, they want Brian Koberger to be the person who did this, so their story has to fit that. And if you have not seen the series Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal, I suggest you watch it. It's like a new version of the old Harrison Ford film, but with a little bit of a tweak to it. But I feel that situation is very similar. The way in which the prosecution are handling the Brian Koberger case is mirroring how Rusty is handled in Presumed Innocent. I know we're talking about reality versus a program, but it's interesting to see how that is playing out, and this confirmation bias to hate somebody that much that you lose sight of what is right. Do you know what I mean? What's right, what's wrong, and what do they truly have, and what are you willing to ignore? We've had Cy Ray come to the court and basically say that the phone information is incomplete. And as it stands at the moment, it's potentially exculpatory to Brian Koberger. You've also got Bethany Funk being said to also have exculpatory evidence, but yet they blocked the defense being able to speak to her with a grand jury. And then you hear, whether it's true or not, who knows, but Jay Logston, and we've done this to death as well, turns around and said, and even the jurors then had turned around and said, we need to see more. Well, you're not, so we're going with this. But yeah, this family in particular, I know they're going through pain, but there's only so much leeway you can give somebody. And when somebody is going down the route of this pitchfork attitude where it's almost like we think he did it, or we're saying that he did it, and acting as if they know something that nobody else does, which is utter shite, because they know no more than what we know. And so it depends on how you and what you are willing to see and not see. But they've decided Brian Koberger is now the person who did it, and they're allowing this train of perpetual hatred towards this person, and even going as far as now allowing people to say that it's wrong that he should have a fair trial. How is that right? How is it right that it's now he doesn't deserve a fair trial, whether you think he's innocent or guilty? What is that? So is that the same for everybody then? So what we're saying is the court should just run however it feels like. However it feels like. Fuck it. Fuck what's fair. Or is it just for the case that is to do with you and yours, and that's when you don't think it should be fair? I'm asking for clarity. Let me know down below. And I'll catch you all tomorrow.